Am I coming on? Hello, hello. Am I coming on? I can't see. It looks like I'm coming on live. Hello. I can't see. Yes. Okay, now I can. Now I can see. Fantastic. And if I look at this screen, I can see the comments. So beautiful. Fantastic. Hello. Okay, I just have to get the tech all figured out, and then I'm going to be able to talk to you guys and have a fantastic video. So here we go. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. Okay, this is week number 17 of the MAGA Exit Countdown. I am the author, Kirsten Peck, and teacher from Florida High School Civic and history and English literature, argument writing, composition class, lots of things I used to teach back in high school. I sort of retired, and yet I can't seem to get away from politics. And so this is a new show I am running here. It is a political watch party is what I'm calling it, because it's going to be different type of political show. I'm not going to be screaming at people. We're not going to be finger pointing back and forth. I'm going to simply be breaking down the news, looking at it like it's a sports playbook, and talking real facts and truth with some respect. So thanks for joining me, and I will get this started. Here we go. All right, first up, the Focus to Pivot course is on the YouTube channel. It's got all the basic information so you know exactly what I'm talking about, because we are already on this 18-week countdown to the midterms. Now it's 17 weeks. And last week's episode was called Follow the Money. So we talked about money, and we were tracking the finances of the past week here in politics. And this is kind of a check-in to see how you are tracking your progress in the decision-making about leaving MAGA, because it has been a political movement that a lot of people tie their identities to, and it's going to be difficult to take off that hat, which is actually the episode that this is right now. So I'm going to start combining here, mixing it up, which is what I love to do. That's how I like to teach people, because it takes a certain amount of shaking up to get past whatever those hurdles are that you're stuck wherever you're at. You got to do something to shake that up. So that's why I'm here. Okay, follow the money. We're going to talk about the money. That's the topic of the day. Also, you should be keeping your notes in a notebook or a sketch pad, or I've got the file folders here, okay? So we're gonna be adding to this. It's gonna be an ongoing process. So I put some videos together on the history of gangsters and politics, because money has been in politics since the very beginning of time. And I've got 6 videos over there. They're dropping like every day now this week, because the know your play of history. I went through different time zones and time periods, rather, almost like I'm a time traveler, and looked at money and politics over the years, because corruption has been a problem that has happened, okay? But we have these sorts of testing that we're doing here, where we're checking our values and testing that as a stress test as to whether or not you can continue with MAGA values and your political identity the way it is, or are you having some sort of an inner struggle because you're going to have to figure this out. We've only got 17 weeks until we vote. Okay, so back to the scoring here and the money. I was reading and hearing about stock trading and how much money the president has made over the past year and a half that he's been in office. And insider trading, in that he would buy stuff and then know that the price would go up and sell it when it was high, doing that kind of very illegal insider trading. You remember Martha Stewart, I'm sure. So between the crypto and following the money on that, and the grift of whose gifts are coming in from where, which gifts, like that jumbo airplane, we're keeping track. We're checking this. So let me get it going. First off, respect and truth. Okay, those are the founding values that we're going to be supporting and encouraging here. Let me check here. It seems like I've got some people that are saying hi. Thank you. Yes. Say no to data centers. Absolutely. That's a big topic that we have got to talk about. In fact, I should put that on my list here of topics. I'm going to remember that one. Okay, the data centers, because there's corruption involved with all of this. The money and the politics and the corporations. So whether you're upset with NVIDIA or Apple or Google or Grok or X, or which one of them, which corporation is getting involved in politics, it's making it difficult for people to be heard and represented ourselves, okay? And so we are focusing in on this and pulling into serious training mode, okay? Just check again. Yes, I'm good. Okay, so we've been talking this corruption in politics, and I'm practicing a Stoic method of inquiry. It is a formula, and we are testing it using a scientific formula. And the question is about the abuse of power. I have an opinion, and I'm asking you to value yours and evaluate it, because it does become about greed and corruption, and whether that is a value that you are willing to continue to support. Because the longer you wear that hat, the more you're supporting greed and corruption and cover up and things that I don't think you really want to. I don't think that's what you really feel. And so let's talk a second here. I'm to my scorecard here, because we have to talk about the 4th of July. And we have to talk about it, not only the money aspect of it, which is where we're trying to follow the money on this with the corporations and the Freedom 250 compared to the America 250. And that is a big political grift of the Trump organization and MAGA to take money and basically hijack the 4th of July. I'm not sure that's exactly what you voted for. And the one that I'm most upset about, truthfully, were the demonstrations and the parades that were done by the Patriot Front marching, and the white masks and the khakis and the intimidation on the metro, on the subway, the flags from the Civil War that were very prominent, the very obvious bullying of people who were at the mall to enjoy the holiday. And so the question comes up about what is patriotism? And I really have to say that no, we have to stand up and say that's not us. That's not acceptable. And so if you still are wearing that hat, I want you to think about that. And another one here with sports. This is my other one from this week, and this is tying me back to my history session. So back in the Colosseum days in the Roman Empire was one of the greatest in the earth, from one end of England all the way down into Africa. And it fell apart. It got corrupt. And mostly the bread and circus of the corruption that they felt that if they entertained the people and kept them relatively fed on bread and entertained by the gladiators in the circus, that they could rule the world. And it didn't work out for them. That didn't happen. And sports, here we go. FIFA and the World Cup. America, we are co-hosting the entire world coming to visit us, coming to America to visit the United States. And this is what happens. We're in a match. Our American team is doing really well, and there's a penalty which results in a red card. And the rules say those are the rules. Those are the rules. That's the rules. Those are the rules. And then, if you've heard, the president got involved, called his buddy who's the head of FIFA, and guess what? They changed the rules. They changed the rules. And so the game last night, I couldn't watch the game because I couldn't watch the game. If I were that player, the young 25-year-old player that is named Balagoon, I couldn't begin to go out on that field. I can't imagine how he felt about that. And then to say, what about his citizenship? And on the weekend, when you're trying to not have people born in the country be American citizens, you suddenly decide, oh yeah, this kid needs to be an American citizen. In fact, I'm going to step up to call FIFA. Like, which flip of the flip is the flip? So again, in this morals and values and compass of American greatness, yeah, that's American greatness. It is. And what happened? What happened? In the same way, let's talk about him going to the Knicks game. He goes to the Knicks game and he's sleeping at the Knicks game, or the MMA out there on the White House lawn. So this bread and circus entertainment of everything to distract you from the corruption, from the money grab that is happening. So here's where this is at. And let me now get this turned around, because I'm not mad. I'm trying to help you see something. And it's about seeing, like, getting the fog out, lifting the fog. Like that hat has made your head not think. So we got to get the brains going. So first off, I have a new hat. If you really need a hat, I have one. Okay? I have one. Okay. The other piece of this is from my workshop. And let's talk about this for a second here. This is the new declaration workshop. And one of the things that we do in there is talk about our character. And we're thinking about our lives as if we were in a story. Life is a story. Shakespeare said, life is but a dream and we are merely players. Yes, so your character here, you've got your personality types. There's 16 different types of personalities that are based on Myers-Briggs research. There's 9 different types of intelligences. This is Harold Gardner's types of intelligences, which I'm calling your passions or your gifts. And then you've got your values down there. We're calling that your code, your compass. I'm putting respect and truth in here on this one. And that your life is like a story. So what is the setting? And what are these plots? What is your conflict? You are the main character, and yes, you deserve the best ultimate life. And sometimes that means you're going to have to change your costume. You're going to have to take off the hat. You're going to have to get a different hat. And that's okay. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. And so, yeah, the question here, I see somebody says, what do I think about Iran? That was a segment that we did a couple weeks ago. I believe we are in a illegal operation, which is part of why this is a political betrayal. So let me set this back down here a second and come back to my throne. It's a throne. It's a throne. I have to get it squared away. I have to get situated. Okay, the tech. I'm saying this again. At the end of the show, here's why. I want people to share this. I need help getting this message out. Okay? The book is $10. It's on Amazon. Okay? And I'm here to my notes. This, taking off that hat, we've got hero thinking, higher levels of thinking where your brain is more engaged. The arts, power, catalyst activities like these that I've been talking about. Everybody is smart, and so you can develop your intelligence over the course of your life. Lifelong learning is the way to stay engaged. In fact, my great-grandmother was 106 years old playing bridge the day before she died. So your brain can totally stay working and functioning. You have to keep it working, okay? And on this, reclaiming America, that was the big search term in this whole big, what's with this Patriot Front? They think they're reclaiming America. Yeah. We're going to reclaim ourselves, first up, with the respect, with the truth, with values that are aligned to our children and to our legacy, with values of faith. All faiths are welcome in the United States. Even no faith is welcome in the United States. That's okay, because this is the United States, okay? And so reclaim yourself, taking that hat off, making this decision, because November 3rd is coming. It's 17 weeks away. This is the countdown, okay? Lifelong learning, controlling your mind because you can unlock your potential, okay? Right here, today, I'm leaving this open. I'm asking you to consider, is this a political betrayal? Is it a betrayal of everything of the United States? MAGA is a gang. It's a gang. And when you start looking at these receipts and you start taking these notes every day, every week, keeping track of this, you'll say, it is an abuse of power, and I have the hero thinking to figure it out. We're going stoic, old school, classic, because it works, okay? So yeah, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open this week. Right now, President Trump is over in Turkey and at the NATO summit, and his friends from Russia are there, and Erdogan, the leader of Turkey, is another one of those questionable sorts of leaders. So let's keep our eyes on that NATO summit. I also need you to keep your eyes on Michigan, because they're having a voting issue about voter registration in Michigan. It's going to get kicked up to the Supremes because this has to get resolved quickly, because voting is November 3rd. So keep your receipts. Let's keep this going. Invite your friends, okay? Next week, the videos are starting to drop already. We're going to talk about the big lie and how it's really just a little bitty lie. It starts out real little, and then it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it. Take off the hat and come back next week, okay? Thanks for joining me. Like I said, subscribe, share, ask me comments, questions. Look forward to sharing. Awesome. Have a great night. Love you. Bye.